Well, hello, World Wide Web. Welcome to Hanging With. I'm GW Pomature. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already done so, go down there and subscribe. Leave some comments on some of these videos if you want to. If this is your first time hanging with us, thanks for coming over. We appreciate your time. We love all the viewers. We especially love our friends at Something Unique Magazine who share these videos all over the web. That's great. And we just hooked up with Awesomeness TV, the AwesomenessNetworkTV.com, and they share YouTubers' videos all over the World Wide Web too. We're hoping that our authors will take us viral, and we'll get these authors out there and get some, real good press.
We hope so too.
We hope so, right? Thank you to Lou Belcher of the Florida Book News. She's offered to share our videos too on the blog. She does a blog that's basically all about bringing attention to Florida writers, Florida organizations, writers events, conferences. And they're great, and they've offered to share our videos. So we feel really blessed this weekend. We're at the 8th Annual O'Galley Art Festival in the historic downtown O'Galley district of Melbourne, Florida. It's our hometown, and we've been invited into this conference by the Authors for Authors Committee, who put on, they did a great job, didn't they?
They surely did. They surely did.
Thank you to Valerie Allen, Dr. Valerie Allen, Holly Fox Vellacoop, and Marshall Frank. We got to interview all of them earlier. Great folks.
They are.
Really good folks to work with. We are hanging with right now D.L. Havlin, and we're going to talk a little bit about his book. He is the author of Blue Water, Red Blood, and many, many, many more. The list is too long to go here. We only got a few minutes, but he's brought Blue Water, Red Blood over here, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But first I want to know, how's the weekend going over there?
It's gone very well. The conference was very well set up. Everybody that attended it has worked in a spirit of cooperation. It's been fine.
It is. It's part of being a part of a community. We've talked so many times about how the author community, it's not about competitors, it's about peers.
That's correct.
And it's great to be here, and it's great to see the readers walk through.
It is.
I was thankful for the rain yesterday because it took them all from the outside art festival and brought them all in here.
One of the things that I firmly believe, and when I write a book, I believe that readers are thinkers.
They are.
And that open minds open books.
Amen, brother. I love that. That is great. I'm going to steal that down the road. I know I am. Let's talk a little bit about Blue Water, Red Blood. Where did this come from? Your mind, I know, but where did this come from?
Well, actually, my publisher and my editor call this a near history novel.
A near history, okay.
And the real impetus for this comes from actual historical fact. That vehicle that's on the front is the vehicle that the Marines landed in the Pacific on Iwo Jima, Tarawa in the Second World War. And it was actually a product of Florida history. In 1928, you had a horrible hurricane hit the south shore of Lake Okeechobee. It completely destroyed Belle Glade, Pahokee, South Bay, and there were 2,500 people killed. The worst part about this was that of the 2,500 people, 800 were killed outright, and the rest had broken arms, backs, legs, and were washed anywhere from 7 to 10 miles out into the Everglades.
Wow.
There was no way to get them. If you've seen the mud in that area, the muck, it becomes black soup when you get water on it. And so what happened was those people starved to death over a period of 2 to 3 weeks.
That's almost unbelievable.
And now the man who actually developed it was the grandson of August Roebling, who built the Brooklyn Bridge. And August's son John actually financed the whole project. And that vehicle was designed not as a military vehicle, but as a hurricane rescue device.
As a rescue vehicle.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? Now, what can readers expect from Blue Water, Red Blood?
Well, they can expect
a great dose of history, obviously.
Great dose of history, but it's written in novel form. And the reason I did that was I wanted to bring characters like Donald Roebling to life, and I had to use dialogue to be able to really show their full character, and that's what I did. For example, Donald Roebling was, at 23, weighed 450 pounds, and he was addicted to sweets. They actually had someone hired to take care of his ice cream because he ate 4 to 6 gallons of ice cream a week.
Well, I have a little lactose problem that would probably kill me.
He died early.
Yeah. Now, this is one of many, many, many novels. that are over there. Where can people find you on the web or in the world, or where can they find Blue Water, Red Blood, and everything else that's D.L. Havlin?
My books are available through the line. They're available through Books A Million. They're available through Barnes & Nobles. You actually can go to the store and order my books.
Awesome.
They're distributed nationally.
Outstanding.
They may not be in stock. You may have to
order them.
You
can always get them online.
You can get them from Amazon, and all of the books that I have published are available as ebooks.
Outstanding. That is wonderful. So many people are reading those these days. It's
yes.
an amazing phenomenon.
Well, people that are of my age probably still have their fingers on the pages, but the younger generation definitely tuned into ebooks.
I love to hold a book in my hand.
So do I.
But I do see with so many tablets and phones and the computers everywhere, they're only this big.
That's right.
But so many people are reading ebooks now. For my books, they're the biggest sellers. Ebooks go out, paperbacks just kind of sit here and go.
Yes.
But I love to hold the paper in my hand, and so you can find them on Amazon.com. In those places. Now, I do have to ask, you've obviously got a lot of books, and you've been around doing the circuit,
right.
And been to cons and book signings and everything else. We love to ask, just as a fun question, what is the coolest, most unusual, the thing that stands out in your mind that you've experienced as an author?
As an author?
Yeah, or at one of these conventions.
I have been on a couple of panels with some really cool authors.
Okay.
And I'd say...
Who's the coolest?
Hyacin. Carl Hyacin.
Wow.
If you ever get a chance to hear that man speak, folks, go listen to him. He is a one-liner machine. He can keep you rolling in laughter.
That is great.
Yeah.
And you get to be on these panels with more experienced authors, and then with some younger authors.
Absolutely.
That's got to be a great. I've never done a panel. I actually have been afraid. I've been asked a couple times, and all I can say is, why? Who wants to hear what I think? I want to hear what DL thinks, and
Yeah, you're a unique individual, and your mind process brings something. That's the reason why we need to read a lot of different people, because each person has a process that they use. They have a mind set, and they have a chain of processing the information, and when they spit this back out, you learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I've learned so much from just being here and talking to you, and this is full of history. You obviously have a mind for the details of our history, and that's an amazing talent. I can't wait to read this.
Yeah. He who chooses to ignore history is cursed to live it again, and unfortunately it's true.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I guess we have to get going. We're getting a little flag from over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in and hanging with us. We have been hanging with D.L. Havlin, author of Blue Water, Red Blood, and so many more. Google that name, folks, D.L. Havlin, and grab those books. Read. That about wraps us up for today. Thanks again to Something Unique Magazine at somethinguniquemag.com for more episodes of Hanging With. Go on over here to the side, watch some more, learn some more, get some more authors behind you, find some more books to pick out, and go on over to the iTunes store. And if you're on an iOS device, you can find us in a podcast. We're going to be uploading there real soon. And while you're there, go ahead down in the description, shoot over, grab a link to DL's books, or get the link to our Hanging With store. That's at cafepress.com/hangingwith. We've done some T-shirts, coffee mugs, balls.
Fantastic.
Just great stuff. While you're writing, you can sit and have a Hanging With coffee cup. It's a great thing, because I write like the cliche. I've got my cigarette in this hand, my coffee cup on the table, and my keyboard going 90 miles an hour.
Yes.
So and that's just it, right? So we're going to put a link to that in our description, so you can go on over there. Help us do more shows, so we can do more authors.
Fantastic.
8 minutes at a time, we're doing them. I'm G.W. Pomacher. We've been hanging with D.L. Havlin, author of The Blue Water, Red Blood, and so many more. Go on and Google that. Thanks for hanging with us. Remember to subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
The Submit to Darkness series by indie author A.J. Spencer is now complete. This dark and twisted erotic thriller spans 3 books and follows FBI profiler Natasha Stolt as she hunts the serial killer known as Grimm. Will you become as obsessed with her prey as she does?
I think there's something that we all have in common. Something primal. Everyone wants to be seduced.
All we need is one night and an appetite.
I'm just saying it's natural. Take away social etiquette, it's just we seduce to survive. And I bet if you could spy in any room here right now, you see a seduction of some sort going down in everyone.
I promise, I'll be a perfect gentleman.
Darling, I do.
Are you trying to imply that I am questioning my sexuality?
Aren't we all?
Women want a whole lot more than just to be seduced and then screwed and discarded by some chauvinistic douchebag with non-committal issues.
Don't you want to be with a guy who just wants to please you? Seduce you. You have a guy who loves you and takes care of you?
Yeah, I have someone.
I didn't pay you for a conversation.
You know we gotta be the most passionate couple ever.
I know.
And I adore you, darling, I do. But I implore you.
Do you love me?
Let's get a fancy room.
Of course.
Oh, Miles, you remember our prom, don't you?
Yes.
This is a very special night for you, isn't it?
Tonight is the night that I'm going to lose it to you.
All day. 'Cause life's too short.
I have something for you, you big dog.
Wow. Ruff. 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 Yes, yes. All men are dogs.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome to Hanging With. I'm GW Commenter. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, go on down there and press the subscribe button for us and help us get more authors out to more people. Go ahead and if you're a first-time watcher of Hanging With, thanks for coming on and giving us some of your time. We want to start off with a quick shout-out to our friends over at Something Unique Magazine. That's somethinguniquemag.com. They're sharing these videos all over the World Wide Web. Another thanks to Awesomeness TV at awesomenessnetworktv.com. They've been sharing us all over the web, too. We're trying to go viral. Want to get these artists and authors out there to the world. And we made some new friends here at the conference this weekend. Thanks to Lou Belcher of the Florida Book News, a blog to bring attention to Florida writers and organizations and writing events. They're helping us get the word out. We are at the 8th Annual O'Galley Art Festival in historic downtown O'Galley District of Melbourne, Florida. We're having a great time here at the Civic Center. We want to spend thanks to Dr. Valerie Allen and Marshall Frank and Holly here for having us at this event, letting us talk to these great artists and authors. We're hanging today with Holly Fox Valiquette.
Correct.
She is an author, the author of Encouragers, The Amazing Adventures of Grandma, and many more titles. Very prolific writer, and she writes in all genres.
I do.
And we're going to have some fun hanging with Holly now.
Cool.
And so, Holly, how's the weekend going?
It's great.
I mean, you helped organize this event. And
yes.
Is it everything that you thought it would be this weekend?
It's even better.
Good.
We actually have more foot traffic this weekend. Saturday was very good, and we're expecting this to improve here in the afternoon.
Outstanding. Well, we've talked to a lot of authors and a lot of creators this weekend, and everybody seems real happy. They get to talk to a lot of readers. They get to meet other authors. There's some first-time authors that are here that are kind of getting to be a part of the community for the first time.
Exactly.
And that's a wonderful feeling. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started as a writer.
Okay. Well, my career was as a psychiatric nurse. I was a staff
so you're
nurse.
like one of those people that know exactly how crazy I am.
That's right. I'm watching.
Like immediately. Wow.
And I taught psych and mental health nursing for Penn State University, and I retired from there. So that's what I did. But I was always a person that watched other people, which probably is why I got into psychiatric nursing. I was the youngest of 8, and I was just one of those people. I always watched what other people were doing, and I thought about writing. I wrote as a young child, even in grade school. And then after I got married and had my children and had a career, and I thought I'm going to write a book about the kinds of things I think about. And my first book was a murder mystery. Yes.
The kinds of things I think about, my first book.
Yes.
Okay.
Because some of my patients, yes,
okay.
I had sociopaths as patients. We had a couple murderers, and I began to see the behaviors of sociopaths and how it affects other people. And so my first mystery I set in my hometown of Danville, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's a great story.
Yeah.
It's a little scary that the first thing that came to mind was a murder mystery. Everybody out there watching.
Yes.
Now, as a creator, and when you got started and through your time writing in all different genres, is there a writer out there or a mentor out there, somebody who really just inspired you to create?
You know, I think all writers have someone that they can remember. I was always a big fan of mystery writers, always. And I can't say there's one in particular, but I was always a big fan. And I was also a big fan of people like Albert Schweitzer, who gave his life to help others, and just people who were positive.
And you just kind of got that positive vibe.
I like the positive vibe. I like people that like other people and help them, and that's what led to my book about encouragers.
Now, tell us a little bit about encouragers. What is the takeaway from encouragers? Without spoiling it, we want them to go buy the book.
Absolutely.
Go buy the book.
Yes.
But what's kind of a takeaway from your book that you want people to get?
I want people to understand that the way we treat other people can either encourage them or to help to defeat them. And I want them to think about that with family members, co-workers in particular, because everyone I spoke to remembered the co-worker who said, I think you can do this. I think you'll be good at this. Or what I call the defeaters, the ones who, when you're not looking, are trying to bring you down. And I didn't want to give them a lot of ink, but it was important to mention them because they were part of that whole balance.
That's right, they're there.
Yes.
And I think that's when we started doing the show. That's what it was about.
Yes.
It's about talking to the artists, giving them a platform to talk to other things. And our philosophy has always been, the best way to promote me is to promote you.
Yes.
And because you'll remember me. If nobody else does, you'll remember me.
You are right.
And that's all, I mean, that's really what it's about. And what we love about this event is that all of these authors, when I first wrote my first book, I saw other authors as the competition. And then I started going and meeting other authors and realized that we don't compete.
No.
This community, we want each other to be successful. And we need to make that happen within our community because we want to. There are a lot of the defeaters.
Yes.
As if you're an artist, you've heard from almost every defeater there is. They come to you, you'll never make it, and you'll never do that, and you won't get a publisher, and your art won't sell, and it's that's just what you think. You get into this community though, and other authors, people who've already made it, people with books, the numerous books, look at you and say, "You can do this."
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is.
And I love this idea of putting it out. Writers are readers.
Yes.
Artists are readers. We talk to the artists outside in the tents and things like that. They love to read. They love to find out new things. It inspires them.
It does.
Someone else's ideas inspire them.
It does.
And so this is a great way to show, especially our young creators out there.
Yeah.
I have a question here that's actually on one of the cards. I don't know if she got to it yet or not because we've been just talking.
Yes.
But I would ask you, if you had advice for a young, up-and-coming creator, an artist, an author, we have porcelain creators and painters over in the next room. If you had advice for one of those young artists, what would that advice be?
It would be, believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to do the work that it takes to become really good at what you do. And if you want to be a writer, sit down and start. Start writing. Put all of that on paper. Don't correct it as you go. Instead, get it all down and don't think, oh, I need to go back and change the chapter. No. Get it down and get the story out. Let it start to roll and come out of you. But sit there and do it. You can't just say, I'm going to do it. You have to do it. Do the research that's necessary.
We hear a lot of young people that say, I'm going to be. I'm going to be. One of the things I used to tell people was, look, you are something or you aren't something. And so when you say, if you're writing your first book or you have your first book and you're writing your second book, don't tell people I'm going to be. Tell them
Exactly.
I am a writer.
Exactly.
And I think we've kind of been shamed a little bit as artists. I think our parents' generation and the you are an engineer and then you're going to be an artist, or you're going to do this and then you're going to do that. But this is your hobby. A writer's a writer. It doesn't matter if you're part-time, full-time, whatever. If you're a writer, you're a writer. Now you have to write.
Right.
That's the key. And so that's amazing advice, and thank you for that for me.
Sure.
Because I sometimes need motivation. I do. I say, I'm going to do that book. Just right after the baseball game for the kids, and right after this and right after that, I don't put that time aside.
Yeah.
And it's important to hear that from another prolific writer to say, no, put that time aside. Put the work in. Do the work.
Yeah.
It's heavy lifting.
It is.
And if you do it, you can be successful.
Exactly.
And it's amazing to so many authors have that same problem or have that same advice.
Yes.
So that is fantastic.
Yes.
Now, as a writer and an organizer and working with other artists, what would you call your most rewarding experience as a creator and working with other creators?
Oh, that's so easy. The most rewarding experience for me is seeing someone who started out as all of us do. Nobody knows us, they don't know who we are, and they become a success. And I mean a big success. And I interviewed one of those in here, and he is a writer who went on to sell his books. He started out working at a business, managing a company, and he went on, and now they have a movie coming out soon. And it was just wonderful. That was one of the biggest successes for me, was to know him and to be able to encourage him and tell him, that you can be something. And others that I worked with who...
That's amazing. And because I actually say all the time to folks that one of my goals with the show is one day to wake up and see one of these authors on a real TV show, and I'm going to be able to say, I interviewed them first.
Yes, I knew them before they were big.
I knew them before they were big,
yes.
And we sat and did the hanging with, and now they're talking to Larry King, and that's it will be an amazing feeling for me
will.
To see that success, because it's rare.
It is.
It's rare,
It is.
and we all define success differently, I think. For ourselves, but secretly we all have that desire. We all love to be, that superstar, and to see one of our peers make it, just kind of it reinforces that positive energy that says you can do it. You put the work and the time and the energy, and look where you can go. My brother's a filmmaker in LA, and he did his first feature film, from his own company, and it made it onto Vimeo on demand.
Great.
And I had never been a Vimeo member, and I went and signed up, and I was like, look at that.
Yes.
It's like on my TV.
That's my brother.
That's my brother. That's cool. So it's awesome. Do you have any ongoing projects that you're working on right now that we can, kind of look forward to coming?
Well, I have 2 other books in my Murder Along the River series. I have the Stonehaven Murder Along the River was my first book, set in my hometown. I have a sequel to it, but I have 2 others written. I need to get them, finish editing them, and then I want to get them published.
Wonderful.
And those 2 projects are up and coming.
Awesome. Now, do you publish traditionally, or indie, or hybrid, or depending on the project? How do you publish?
My first book was published by a New York publisher, and it was Avalon Books, which is a division of Thomas Borgi.
Wonderful.
They did my first book, and then I discovered CreateSpace and independent publishing, and I have a woman that does my work for me. She edits and gets the books up and onto Amazon for me and CreateSpace, and that's how I do it now.
Okay, great.
I really like that.
It is wonderful. I talk to indie authors and I say, I really believe, and it's only a belief, I can't prove it, I really believe we're in the midst of an artistic revolution. And I think that comes from, when they invented the printing press, one guy had it. And then it went mainstream. What that meant that a bunch of guys in boardrooms had printing presses. With print on demand and digital, they have actually, in a way, given the printing press to the artist.
Yes.
It's just an amazing thing, and I see the same thing happening in music, in film, using YouTube to do the show. We find that they've given us this power to put our stuff in front of an audience, and it's both rewarding and sometimes, like you say in your book. Sometimes you run into somebody that just says, don't do that.
Yeah.
But it's really a revolution for creators
Exactly.
to be able to go and see your audience and see how they like it.
Yes.
And if they like it, maybe you'll make it big. And if they don't like it, you'll know immediately.
You will know.
You will know.
You know.
I told a writer yesterday, I said, look, remember when they were first-time authors, remember when reviews start coming in, there'll be one guy that loves you. He thinks your book's the greatest American novel. There'll be one guy that despises you and that will tell you so.
Yes.
You have a thick skin.
You
Ride
do.
the line between there.
You
All
do.
right, so where can we find you online?
www.hollyfoxvellacoop.com. That's my webpage.
www.hollyfoxvellacoop.com.
That's my webpage.
Okay.
Yes, and they can buy my books at Amazon.
On Amazon and any CreateSpace partners, obviously,
Right,
for paperbacks.
exactly.
Go on the World Wide Web and look for Holly Fox Vellacoop. Look for encouragers. Learn to be a positive thinker. If you're a creator, and I know a lot of you authors out there are still watching the show, make sure you get this book and learn to encourage others the same way you want to be encouraged. And today we've been hanging with Holly Fox Vellacoop, author of Encouragers, The Amazing Adventures of Grandma, and many more titles you can find on Amazon. We've been talking about the Encouragers mostly today. We got to about wrap this up, so a special thanks again to Something Unique Magazine for sharing these episodes all over the World Wide Web, because they believed in us and we believe in them. That's why we can share these authors.
Great.
That's the way we do things here. For more episodes of Hanging With, check back with us on the YouTube channel. We're going to be doing more interviews all day long here, so make sure you check with us in the iTunes store too. Get the podcast. Maybe take a quick run over on the internet to cafepress.com/hangingwith. Grab yourself a Hanging With t-shirt or a coffee mug or a hat, and help us to support this artist community and to do more interviews and to share more authors and artists with you. I'm G.W. Pomacher. We've been hanging with Holly Fox Vellacoop, author of Encouragers, The Amazing Adventures of Grandma, and many, many more titles you can get. Go on down here if you can and subscribe to the channel, log on, tune in, and see who we're going to be hanging with next.